Hi everybody, and welcome to Cyber Weekend at Vitamix. I'm Michelle, if we haven't met before, and I'm super excited to talk to you about our Cyber Weekend deals. Now, I would say welcome to our Facebook Live, but we're not actually live. In full disclosure, I'm at home with my family this weekend, but because there's so many great deals, we wanted to take a few minutes and make a video to help you guys sort through everything that's on sale on Vitamix.com. Really great sales. Things to consider when you're shopping on Vitamix.com, whether you're a current owner or you're someone who's new to Vitamix. We're gonna say, consider giving a gift that's gonna last for generations. Because although my daughter might love that sweater today, will she still be wearing it next year? Probably not. But when you give the gift of a Vitamix, that's something that not only is gonna be helpful for you, but with proper use, this is something that you are going to pass down to other members of your family. And so that's what we mean when we say, give a gift that is going to last for generations to come. Vitamix blenders, we know that they are an investment for a lot of people, but we've got some great deals this weekend, but know that they're going to last 10 times longer than your average blender. And not only that, but we're all backed with warranties up to 10 years. So depending on which model you select will vary on the warranty, but doesn't matter how long the warranty runs, we believe that these machines are going to last you for generations. So let's get started with some of my favorites. First, I want to call out that we do have certified reconditioned models starting at $199. Unbelievable price point for Vitamix. So there's limited quantities on those. So if you're interested in those, go ahead and search on the sale page, you'll see them. But the one that I want to pull up first is our E320 with the personal cup adapter. I love this little bundle. This is a great deal. This machine is going to be from our Experience series, which is our opening price point. It's going to give you all manual control of time and speed and the pulse button. And this is currently $245 off in the US and $310 off in Canada. And it comes with the low profile 64-ounce container, but here's the bonus, and this is what makes this deal so good, is that it also comes with the personal cup adapter. So this is meant for like single serving size blending. And I tell people, though, obviously this is a great single size serving smoothie cup. That's what most people think. I also love this size for doing small quantity blends, like a spice blend or perhaps a salad dressing, because when you blend with the cup, all you're doing is putting your ingredients in here, and then you have this lovely little blade that just screws on top, and then you flip it, and that's gonna fit right here on the blender, and now you can go ahead and blend your smaller batch. I really enjoy this, like I said, for salad dressings or sauces, anything you're preparing during this holiday season, because this is stuff that you can do ahead and then just put the top on, put it right in your refrigerator. I love this set, so I think this is a really great savings. Once again, this is the E320 with personal cup adapter, $245 off in the US and $310 off in Canada. Great way to go. Also have one of our absolute best-selling products of all time. This is the Pro 750 in this beautiful pearl gray color. This machine has been a bestseller for years and years and years. It is going to give you all manual control of time and speed on one side, plus 5 pre-programmed settings. So basically, when you use one of our programs, you put the blender down, you hit start, it's going to start in low, ramp up to high, run for the typical time period for that recipe, and then shut itself off. Really, really great if you've got a lot going on in your kitchen. Do keep in mind though, it's just a timer, so you might want to keep an eye on it because some things will blend faster depending on if you've got frozen fruit in your smoothie versus fresh fruit. But it definitely is a really great convenience. So that is Pro 750. $200 off in the US and $310 off in Canada. Really a great piece in this sale. Next is the immersion blender bundle. This is probably new for a lot of people. We have not had the immersion blender on the market for very long. What this is going to do is give you the power of the Vitamix in the palm of your hand. So think making applesauce. You can use this actually in the pot to puree. I use it when I do soups and things like that. But what I really love about this immersion blender is that you can use this almost like a travel blending system for people who either want to take their Vitamix with them when they travel, or maybe you have a really small kitchen, you don't have room for the full-size blender. The immersion blender, when you add in a blending jar, this is like something that you can take to go. You can do your smoothies in here, you can do small batches of like a salsa or things like that. There's some great recipes online, and very excited to offer you guys the immersion blender bundle, $30 off in the US, $35 off in Canada. And if you already have the immersion blender, know that all of the accessories are sold a la carte and they're 20% off right now. And Vitamix current owners, we did not forget about you this weekend either. We have container sale going on right now, so select containers are $99 in the US, $129 in Canada. Great time to pick up that extra container, maybe a dry goods container, whatever you've been looking for. Definitely check that out. We will do an in-depth dive on containers later in this broadcast, so I don't want to spend too much time there. But also know that we've got 20% off select accessories. If I had to give you two things that I would automatically put in my cart, one might be this little red spatula, great for getting things out of the container. But then I also want to tell you about the blade scraper, not just because this is on the sale, but more importantly, it's part of our gift with purchase. So for the first 1,000 purchases on Vitamix.com this weekend, in US for purchases over $499.95 and in Canada for purchases over $599.95, you will get this great blade scraper, which works like a squeegee on the inside of your Vitamix. Really awesome tool. And you also get this beautiful Headley and Bennett apron, which is what our chefs wear. This is not just like an inexpensive apron. This is a really nice, beautiful, heavy denim quality. We love them. Hope you will love them too. So those gift with purchases are available for the first 1,000 purchases on Vitamix.com. Again, purchases over $499.95 in the US and over $599.95 in Canada. So that is a general overview. Like I said, so much is on sale on Vitamix.com this weekend. But these are some items that I thought were real rock stars as far as the value that you'll be getting. Definitely check these out, and if you don't know or you're not sure, you can call 1-800-VITAMIX and our customer care team is there to help you figure out which one is going to be the best for you. The other thing I want to say to my current Vitamix owners is if you're uncertain about which container is compatible with your machine, again, 1-800-VITAMIX is a great resource. You can put questions in the chat today if you want to. We will be answering them. We just aren't going to be monitoring those as live. So you will get an answer back. It just may not be instantaneously. So let's move on to the next section and let's see what we got going on. This is like one of what I would consider like a pantry basic. A lot of times within our recipes, you'll see it references another recipe and you'll want to click through. So what we're making here today is cashew milk that we're going to use in another recipe a little bit later. So for now, I've got the Pro 750 in the pearl gray up here on the counter. Really beautiful. I've got my low profile 64-ounce container and we're going to make some cashew milk. Now these alternative nut milks, that's become a real big popular thing that you see. They can get expensive if you keep buying them at the store, but they're super easy to make at home. And I particularly like this one because we're going to flavor it a little bit, which makes it great just to use as a cashew milk, but it also makes it really good in the recipe that we're going to use it for. So what we're going to start with is I've got 3 cups of water, and then I have my cashews. Now, I soaked my cashews in water overnight to get a really, really creamy nut milk, but you don't need to do that if you don't have time. If you didn't have time to do it, then don't worry about it. Just put your regular cashews in. They just get a little bit more creamy when you soak them overnight. And then I also have 5 dates that I've pitted and a little bit of cinnamon. So I guess cinnamon's like a theme for all of our holiday cooking. I've gone through a ton of cinnamon lately. So we're gonna go ahead and attach that. Make sure it snaps down. Good. And then I'm just going to do manual because I don't want to use all programs because all of our machines have manual control. So I'm going to go ahead and start it in 1 and I'm going to quickly take it up to 10, which is our highest setting on this machine. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Okay, that was about a 1-minute blend, and again, you want it to run that long for so that it can get through the dates and really give you a nice consistency. I'm gonna go ahead and pour off what I'm gonna need for our next recipe so you can see how beautiful the consistency is on this. It's so thick and creamy, really, really nice. Also great on cereal, just saying. Anyway, so you've got a cinnamon date cashew milk, all ready for our next recipe. Okay, now I have a really fun cookie recipe for you, and this is a really great example on how we've tried to take something that would be maybe a holiday cookie that your grandmother made and like modernize it, make it a little bit healthier, and therefore we can feel really good about eating them and yet still honoring grandma's recipe. So anyways, today we're gonna do it on the Pro 750. And we're gonna start with the cookie base of thumbprint cookies. That's what, I'm sorry, I should have said that right off the bat. Thumbprint cookies we're making. You all know them and love them. So we're gonna go ahead and start by putting our flours in the container. And I've got some whole wheat flour that we ground earlier in the day on our dry grains container. And then I also have all-purpose flour. And if you don't have whole wheat, you can stick with the whole purpose, but it's really, really nice to have that blend of the two flours and a little bit more nutritional. Also have some instant yeast. Love the instant yeast because I am not someone who is a good baker with regular yeast. All right, so we're just gonna put this up here. I'm gonna go ahead and set this, we're gonna pulse. So I wanna preset the speed I wanna pulse at, which for this recipe is gonna be a 6. And then we are going to use the pulse button, which is here. And I just want to pulse it enough times to get that yeast and the two flours kind of mixed together. So just a little bit of pulsing, and then I'm going to take my spatula and just loosen what was stuck in the corner. And give it a couple more pulses. All right, great. Now, the next part of this is we took our butter from the fridge. I am using actually vegan butter, but you can use regular if that's what you have available to you, but you will be surprised how great these turn out using the vegan butter. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get those in there. And again, I wanna pulse until I get, you know, like the texture of a coarse sand. So this will take a few more pulses. And once again, I want to pause and scrape down the sides because the flour does like to stick in those corners. And we want to make sure we get this really nicely integrated. There we go. All right, great. And I'll show you, you can see for texture what I mean by coarse sand. So it's got crumbly, just like damp sand. All right, now we have our wet ingredients, which I'm gonna go ahead and whisk together here. Here's the cashew milk that we had made earlier. And I have an egg. If you don't wanna do egg, there are substitutions in the recipe for a vegan option. And I also have some honey, 3 tablespoons of honey. This is gonna be our primary sweetener for this cookie. There we go. And I'm just gonna whisk these together real quick. Especially because you wanna get that honey all mixed in. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna add the wet to the dry. And again, I'm gonna go back to pulsing, and I wanna pulse until this comes together in a ball. Great, there, do you see it coming together into the ball? So now all I wanna do is turn this out, and I'm gonna put it into my bowl. And you can see I got a great cookie dough. Now, keeping in mind that you do want to be very aware, because it's really easy to overload your machine like we were talking before. If it feels like it's running on too heavy a load and you haven't been supporting it enough, it is gonna go ahead and shut itself off, and then you just need to leave it aside. But basically, we've got the cookie dough ready to go. I'm gonna cover this and put it into our refrigeration drawer, and I'll be back in a sec with the filling. Okay, now we're gonna do the filling, the honey walnut filling that's gonna go in our thumbprint cookies. So again, we're still here with our Pro 750, and I'm gonna start, this is the cashew milk that we made earlier, so that's gonna be our base. It's gonna go down at the bottom. To that, I'm gonna add some walnuts. I have some rolled oats, golden raisins, and here I have some cinnamon and some allspice. Go ahead and put that in for our spices. And last is a little bit of vanilla extract. Awesome. And that is all we need for that. Now we are gonna need to use our tamper because this is, again, a thick blend. So I wanna have that tamper handy, which I do. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up. I'm gonna turn it on and I'm gonna take it to, let me double check for you so I tell you the right thing. We're gonna take this to an 8 and it's gonna blend for about 25 seconds. And so we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. That's it, because I'm not looking to liquefy everything in here. I just want to get it all mixed together and chopped, and that's definitely a heavy, thick mixture, so you want to be sure to be using your tamper the whole time. And you'll see here, we've just got a nice mix of everything. You know, again, we don't want to puree it, because that's not what we're looking to do. We want it to be at that lower speed so we still get the texture, but now it's all nicely mixed and chopped together. Okay, next we'll assemble. Okay, now we're at the final step for our thumbprint cookies, and we're just gonna take this ice cream scoop and I'm gonna scoop out a ball, you know, about a 1 ounce ball of cookie dough. This one might be a little bit big. And we're gonna roll it out and put it here. I don't know about you guys, but when I do, you know, recipes like this that are so much of my own family's history, it's the kind of stuff that we used to do when we were kids with my grandmother, and it's just really fun to be able to do them now with my own kids. And again, it's that whole idea of, you know, taking things that have been around for generations, like your Vitamix, and just learning to use them in new ways, maybe a little bit healthier for our families than some of the old recipes, but it doesn't mean you have to walk away from them altogether. Just a few easy tweaks, like what we did here. All right, so I've got my balls rolled out. There they are. And now I'm just gonna put my thumb right in the middle to create that little indent. You know, traditionally, a lot of times, like my grandmother would put a jelly in here, and that had a lot of sugar in it. And just to be able to make this same kind of cookie, but with this newer twist of doing it with the dates and the walnuts and the oatmeal, just gives it a whole fresher, little bit healthier. And yet I can still share this recipe that's been in our family for so long. I can share this with my own kids. So it really plays into that generational, it's like a warm hug at holiday, right? So there we go. So I've got my little filling in there, and as you can see, they're all set to bake up. And these just pop in the oven for like 15 minutes, and then what you're left with are these beautiful cookies that look just like what Grandma made, but are a little bit more healthy for you. So again, what a great generational recipe. Great way to incorporate your Vitamix this holiday season. Delish. Okay, as promised, frequently asked questions. I actually have a list here that they provided me, which are the most common questions that we see coming in on Vitamix.com and through our customer service. One product question, and you probably feel this way if you've been looking at the website, is that we get all the time is what is the difference between an E320 and a 5300? So we've got them side by side for you. Are you ready? Pay attention. Nothing. They are functionally the same machine. It is about aesthetics. So it's really about picking the one that you like better or that's a better value at any given time. Both are gonna give you a center dial with manual control of time and speed. Both are gonna give you a pulse switch and a power on and off switch. So basically, for all intents and purposes, functionally, they're the same machine. So it's really more about aesthetics. Whether you prefer the more classic look of the 5300 or you like the newer Explorian. That's it. It's not rocket science, people. But that is the basic difference. Next question we get is about horsepower and what is the difference in horsepower between the models. And I don't know if you're gonna love my answer to it, but the truth of the matter is horsepower really doesn't matter. So I tell people don't even pay attention to it. Every machine is calibrated for what it needs to be. And the things that make Vitamix give you that amazing smooth blend are the shape of the container, the ridges in the container, the stainless steel blade, the all metal parts in the drive shaft. All of those things working together, the ability to start in a lower speed and then ramp up and create the vortex that pulls everything down. That's what makes a Vitamix outstanding blend. Horsepower has nothing to do with it. So may not be the perfect answer for my horsepower lovers, but that is the reality of it. Every single full-size Vitamix can do every single technique and they all do it equally well. So don't get caught up in the details too much. Let's see. Next question on my sheet is, what about the different warranties? And the truth of the matter is, warranty is a function of price. So the longer the warranty, the more cost that warranty carries. So when you see a limited time warranty, 3 to 5 years on certified reconditioned machines, it's not because we don't think they're gonna last more than 3 to 5 years. It's gonna last for generations to come. It's just so that we can deliver you a lower price on those particular models. So that being said, we like to say that I like to tell people only 2% of the Vitamix blenders that are under warranty today have ever been serviced. So we like to say that it is the best warranty that you will never need. And that's just because they are, like we say, built to last for generations. That's why when we tell you that it's something that you'll pass down with proper use, we see it happen all the time with our customers. All right, let's see, what else do we have on our list? Let's see. Do all the bells and whistles on the higher price machines do anything different from the regular blend? Well, no, I just told you, all Vitamix blenders have the same quality blend. What those extra features are the programs and some of the accessories that will just make it easier for you. I don't know. It's like, I don't use them. So I always tell people, let's take a look at what the features are in the machine. Let's find out if those features are important to you. If we're looking at like an individual machine versus a bundle, let's look at those pieces that come in the bundle. I mean, I think the dry grains container that comes in our baker's bundle is an awesome machine if you're grinding grain and you're gonna make flours and you're doing a lot of spice rubs. If you're not doing any of those, that may not be the best machine for you. So just know that just because there's more doesn't always mean it's better. It's just trying to get you the right products that fit your lifestyle. If you're still confused, call 1-800-VITAMIX, talk to our customer care team. They're really great at helping you wade through that. So know that. The other thing to think about is that, things that there's programs for, you can do those same things like a soup, you're just doing it manually. So say a soup setting is a little over 5 minutes to generate the heat, which we haven't talked about. If you don't know, Vitamix makes hot soups. It does it with friction heat. So it's that blade turning as fast as it is creating friction heat, and that's what warms up the soup inside. The nice thing about the timer is that you could walk away from it and you could absolutely do something else and the machine will shut itself off. But know that the time it takes to heat that soup is different if all your ingredients are room temperature versus if all your ingredients just came out of the refrigerator. Obviously, it'll take longer to warm from a lower temperature. So again, just a great example of how just because you have a soup timer doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect every time. It's gonna be most of the time perfect. But if you don't have a soup timer, you can still make soup, you're just manually in control. And in that case, I just set my timer for 5 minutes and I check on it at 5. Okay, set change for our last Q&A on containers, because there are a lot of containers and a lot of people get really confused about how to know which is the right one for them. So what we've done here is I kind of broke it into the 2 general categories. Self-detect blenders must have a chip in their container in order to work on their base. So everything that isn't part of our Ascent or Venturous series is you'll know that it has the chip because it has this clear lid. This is our new clear lid. So anytime you see a clear lid, you know, yes, that is compatible with your Ascent or Venturous machine. If you see the gray and black lids, these are the containers that are compatible with our Legacy blenders, with Explorian, and with Propel. So within each one of these container families, but if I put one of these on the Ascent, it doesn't have a chip in it, so the Ascent won't recognize that there's a container on the base. It won't even turn on. So that's why you need to know what you have to make sure that you're getting something that's compatible with your base. Within each one of these, this was the original container, the tall, skinny 64-ounce container that came on the 5200. People complained that it didn't fit underneath the upper kitchen cabinet because it was too tall, so we developed a low profile 64. That is the container that comes standard with most of our blenders. But because it has a wider bay base, your minimum blend in those is going to be a 2-cup yield, and because of that, we offer both 48 and 32-ounce containers to do smaller batches. 32-ounce containers are only available for the classic Legacy, Propel, Explorian series. In Ascent, we just have the 48-ounce containers and the 64-ounce. But again, 1-cup minimum blend on those smaller containers, whether it's 32 or 48, they're both gonna do that equally well. One thing that I wanna point out is the ones that are compatible with both series. And these are some of our specialty ones. There is a dry grains container available for both series, know that. And basically that's gonna used for anything that's a dry result. So grinding flours, doing a spice rub. The desired output of a dry container is a dry powdery substance. So that's how you know that that's it. If you're never gonna make flours, may not be a container that you need. So these are some of the other specialties that are kind of fun. So this was a highly desired container for a lot of our customers. This is our stainless steel container, and it is only available in the 48-ounce size. It can be used on either series. You can see it has laser etched markings on the inside and the clear lid. So what's really wonderful about this particular one is that it's not going to scratch when you're doing hard grains in it. So you can do flours on this if you want to, and it's not going to etch the inside of the container. You can also, it doesn't hold odor. So like if I do something that's very fragrant, like a curry or color, you know, a curry soup will tint this yellow. And sometimes it comes out, depending on how strong it is. Sometimes it'll leave a little bit of a shadow if you do something like that. So if you're worried about staining, this is a great container. Also that odor. So say I want to grind coffee beans, that odor of coffee will slinger in the Triton containers, but it will not in the stainless steel. So it just means cleaning a little bit less, not going to hold the odor. New for us this year were these colored containers. And these were brought out really for people who wanted to be able to separate. So you'll see these colored containers come in our food sensitivity bundle. If you have somebody who has a food allergy and you want a dedicated container to use only for them, that's why we have this option of colored containers. Another great use of them is, you know, some people do dog food, some people compost. My sister makes goat milk soap and she uses a designated container for her soap making. So that's what the colored containers are, and they are compatible with both series, 48 ounces, and that's merely the color that's different so that you can have a dedicated container to whatever you're doing that you don't want to mix. Another specialty blade that I think is super fun is our air container, and this actually is designed to not blend everything into puree. So you can see it actually has a disc in it rather than a blade. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna aerate, it'll muddle, it'll whip. It does a beautiful job of that. Big popular beverage these days is cold foam beverage, coffee beverages. And this is the container that can do cold foams. There's some great video content on it on Vitamix.com if you want to learn more about it. But know that it's very particular, and that's, when you're doing those things, it's great. I'm gonna tell you, I love it when I'm entertaining and we're doing batch cocktails, because you can do like a whole pitcher of, say, a mojito or something like that, or a fresh lemonade. Whenever I'm entertaining, I love this. It's a super fun container to have. But again, not everybody needs it. So we want you to pick what's great for you. If you're still confused about which one of these containers works with your base, you want to call that 1-800-Vitamix number, read your serial number, which is below the barcode, either on the bottom or the back of your machine, to the customer service person, and they will help you figure out which container is the right match for your machine. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a lot of containers, but hopefully that gave you at least a base to go on as you look onto our site. Just know that typically the air container and the stainless steel container are excluded from any promotions that we do on containers. So just know that those two, don't hold out for a sale because you're probably not going to see one on those. I hope you enjoyed what we've gone over today. Just a reminder, a Vitamix blender is a wonderful gift. It lasts 10 times longer than your average blender, up to a 10-year warranty. This is a gift you'll give that'll last for lifetimes. If you have any questions, I'll give my last pitch for our amazing customer service team, 1-800-Vitamix, and they will answer all of your questions, or you can post them below and our team will get back to you as soon as they can. Thank you for joining me today, and happy holidays to everybody.